Hey there, YouTube friends, maskedbandit here, and we are back in Conifer Slopes. This is episode number 15 of Conifer Slopes. And in today's episode, we are continuing getting on with our wharf. A little bit of a redesign, tweaks, more like tweaks, not redesign. Adding some things, making it look a little better, adding some clutter, adding some details. So glad you're here to check out the episode, and so sit back, relax, enjoy the time lapse, and that will be right up for you on the other side of this cut. All right, and so here we are in the time lapse back in the wharf area, and I decided that I didn't like the way it was set up, so I changed it. If you notice, and I must have done this off camera, I rotated the brewery ever so slightly to offset it from the gift shop there. And then it started dawning on me, how are we going to access this balloon ride, which is technically not on the wharf, but needs to be. So I went to my old Google machine, and I once again referenced my favorite material, model railroad buildings, looked up some wharf stuff from model railroads, and found this pretty little structure here that we are building right here. And it's actually fairly large for what I was considering. I thought it was going to be smaller than that at first, but I kind of like the bigger size and the large opening there. You'll see it's not going to stay that large. I mean, it is, but I'm going to make it look like it's not that large. And hopefully you'll see what I mean in a minute. And then it dawned on me, why can't we have that little wharf building be the entrance to the balloon ride? And so that's what I'm playing with here, getting some water down to try and sell this idea that this building is indeed on the wharf. And then we try all different kinds of placements until I finally cave and pretty much put it back exactly where I had it. So yeah. The reason I've been away from Conifer Slopes for so long, it's been about a month, maybe more, probably a little bit more than a month. Just this wharf area is kicking my hiney. I had a clear vision, and then the vision ended up not being what I wanted. And once I didn't have that vision, I lost it. And then I didn't know where to go with it. And that live stream, eons ago, really helped set up the area to look really nice, but it wasn't what I originally anticipated. And so that made me kind of stop working on it. And I've been doing lots of other things you've noticed on the channel. I've been doing lots of other games. They Are Billions, Railway Empire, Parkitect, all these things. It's actually kind of good. I feel kind of good about that, because Planet Coaster is always going to be near and dear to me, but I go through dry spells. And I hadn't hit one in Planet Coaster for a long time, and we did the bro break, and all of a sudden it was, well, let's see what other games are out there. And I know that most of you on the channel are here for Planet Coaster, and that's great, and pretty much that's why this channel exists to the size in which it does. Look at me talking like I'm a big channel. But for real, I know Planet Coaster is going to always be what most people want to watch, but it's not always what I want to play. And I finally got the urge to get back into Conifer Slopes, and this is going to be different than it was in the RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 days. If you've been around the channel that long, I'd put out an episode of RollerCoaster Tycoon and then go months without another one, and that's not going to happen. The channel would go dead. I can promise you that's not going to happen. Here I am with that door, by the way. Do you like that? The little sliding door thing? I think it's really cute. This interior, quote unquote, of this ride, of this queue building, sucks right now. Don't worry, I'm gonna fix it, I promise. But anyway, ever since Bro Coaster, the channel has pretty much sustained about a video a week minimum. So it might not always be Planet Coaster, and I know that that's always gonna be my bread and butter, but it felt good to get back into Conifer Slopes and build for you guys, and for me, of course. And I like the new changes, and I like the direction. And one of my struggles with Planet Coaster is, at this stage, no matter what I'm building, I'm never, ever sure. Here's a balloon experiment of, I wanted some balloons, and then I thought, this is a balloon ride, not a balloon shop. So these aren't going to cut it. So then I try, after this, to make some some fancier balloons, some hot air balloons, and it ends in epic failure, so I delete it quickly. But anyway, it felt good to get back in and make some Planet Coaster stuff, because I know that for a lot of people, they really look forward to it. And that's always just a little bit extra as far as motivation goes to get me in and playing. So, yeah, I'm glad so many of you seem to enjoy my Planet Coaster work. But anyway, if you're wondering, well, why are we back in Conifer now? What changed? What gave you the urge? You can thank the boys from Jubilee Gardens. Their most recent episode, it was on Commando Santa's channel, and if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to go check out Commando Santa's channel, give him a big fat subscribe, and watch all of Jubilee Gardens. Binge it. Him and Ruble Trillions. Ugh. His most recent episode, though, on Santa's channel, top quality stuff. Some great backstage stuff, and Jubilee and Conifer and No Name Landia, they all have... They're linked. There's a reason we consider those two guys bros on the Bro Nation Discord and in No Name Landia, and why they're kind of along for our crazy ride here. We all have the same aesthetic with the game, so their episode came out after their little holiday hiatus, and it made me excited to get back into Conifer Slopes, because the other Planet Coaster thing I got cooking, Mount Vertigo, is really fun. I really enjoy it. But that burns like a white hot fire. It's either there or it's not, as far as inspiration goes. And right now it's kind of in a not stage, but don't worry, it'll be back. It's not going anywhere. Just might be a while before you see it again. But it felt good to get back into what I'm passionate about, the realistic aesthetic, this quasi-rustic vibe here. So, and what I was saying a few minutes ago, actually, though, about this stage of the build is tough for me, because it's before it's finished, but it's far enough along that I think it should look better than it does. And it requires me to just bite the bullet and start throwing details in, and then I start to see the vision. And you'll notice as the details get put in, more and more stuff starts getting done, and it actually starts to feel kind of like a wharf. And I like the clutter, and I like the narrowness of some of these paths and stuff, but yet it's still open enough around these shops, and I'm not quite sure how we're going to finish it, but I don't know. It's just these little details really started to help me want to push through more. Because that's one of my struggles, is there are some people that can get into Planet Coaster and play even when they're not inspired, even when they don't really have it, and they'll just pound out a video because there's always stuff to get done. Mike is actually one of those kinds of people that can sometimes just hop in and do something. He knows he's going to spend his day curbing. I have a hard time with that. And so as I was adding these little details, just kind of throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, it really did help my motivation and my drive to get this area even closer to completed. So if you ever struggle with that with your builds, you're not alone. I think everyone struggles with the motivation and the inspiration, and sometimes you just need to go do other things. You need to go play other games. You need to do other projects in the same game. So never ever get, because I was starting to get discouraged. I was like, oh, am I gonna bail on Conifer Slopes? No, I'm not. I'm not gonna bail on Conifer Slopes. And you shouldn't bail on your projects too, even if you're not feeling them right now. So let that be today's golden message of the day. Don't give up, even when you want to, because we all want to sometimes. So anyway, this time lapse here is spent over a couple different play sessions, and this is the most recent one here, where we again really try to, at least over here by the balloon ride, up on the pier, up on the wharf, the stone path here, really try and finalize what are we going to do, because there's all these, since it's an elevated path, we've got all these ridiculous curbs that we have to hide, because let's be honest, they're ugly as sin. So the new adventure planks came in real handy here. I really like those. That does bring up the issue that the next release of Conifer Slopes, unfortunately, friends, will not be vanilla. I always wanted the first one to be vanilla, and apparently it might not even still be. I should probably jump back in there and edit it. Anyway, I can guarantee you that we have both spooky and adventure DLCs in the park right now, so that doesn't mean you can't ever look at it. It just means you can't save it unless you own those. So yeah, so lots of great things here in these new updates. I really like the adventure pack, and I'm surprised at some of the uses I'm finding here in Conifer Slopes with the stuff. I'm excited to use some of the gem pieces as glass to see how that functions for us. So yeah, we'll see what happens. No promises. Also, this giant ship that's right here by the launch on the docks, yay or nay? I wish it wasn't so huge. I like the idea. Not so sure necessarily on the execution. So, what's your gut instinct? And just throw it out in the comments. Let me know. Doing a real simple fence here because we don't want anybody falling in the water. This park is supposed to be in America. We have to take care of everyone. I know some of the Europeans are really surprised at how secure everything is. How everything is fenced off. Everything is, God forbid someone fall. It was actually really funny when I was in Spain. We were touring some old castles and ruins and down in Andalusia, and there's no fences. There's no walls. There's just a sign that says, basically, don't be a dumbass. Like, that's all it is. Don't fall here. And if you do, kind of Darwinian law, it's your own fault. I kind of like that, actually. But that wouldn't look really realistic. Okay, I want to watch the time lapse here because I don't know what happened. I built this, and now I can't find it. And you might even see me in the time lapse when it goes away. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I Control-Z'd something. I don't know if I accidentally moved it somewhere. But this staff gate is gone. The staff gate is gone. And you might see me later on in the video like, what? So, the little trees I plopped down, they were a temporary. So now we're going to go in and we're going to finish them up. If you have spooky... these are the mounds, the burial mounds. Big shout out to Mineral Junction for finding this tidbit out. He actually, you can use them as rounded mounds, or you can flip them over at flat, and they work great for mulch or for, just dirt or soil in planters such as that. And mine have a little bit of clipping, but it's so minor. I just said I don't care. We're gonna keep it, and I think it really helps cement the trees in their little areas there. It was perfect because I didn't want to use the round barrels. I wanted something bigger, a little more hefty. And so it was perfect, just perfect. And then we're throwing down some spooky benches, which aren't spooky at all. They're fantastic. That's one of the things about the DLC. If you're like, oh, I don't like spooky stuff, neither do I. But there's so many great things that you can use for any theme. Same with adventure. Not as much as far as versatility. A lot of the stuff in adventure is really oversized because it's really heavily themed. But there are several pieces, even in the adventure, that are really nice for just general use. Posts and beams and all that different kinds of stuff. So I mentioned we were going to fix the queue. That's where we're going to do this right here. We're going to actually flesh it. We're going to put down a proper floor, again, to cover the hideous the hideous curbs. And I don't like the way the queue looks at all. It's really not organized well inside that building. It's on an angle. It was killing me a little bit. So we're going to fix that up. And that's probably going to bring us to close to the end of this video. So I feel like my commentary was kind of rambly and all over the place. More so than usual. I mean, let's be honest. I'm kind of a rambly, all over the place kind of dude. But this wasn't... I guess since it's been so long for a Conifer video, I just felt like I had to get some things off my chest. I hope you enjoyed nonetheless, and we'll end our video with a little bit of cinematics here. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I'll see you for the next episode of Conifer Slopes. Take care. Bye-bye.